why do bees buzz? Go.
Because they can.
And they buzz so that when they're trapped in the living room, you know to open the window.
It's a thought.
Is it to sound industrious?
Yeah.
You have to look at bees as aerospace workers. And stay with me.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm still there.
When you're flying, you want to make a lot of noise because a quiet aircraft is crashing.
I think it's their knees knocking that makes the buzzing, isn't it? Because they hate flying. Terrified of flying.
What is it that makes the noise?
The wings.
No, it isn't, I'm afraid.
Not the wings, then.
No, it won't be the wings.
Testicles?
They're little tiny mouths.
Well, it is sort of little mouths. It's through what they breathe. They're called spiracles. They have them down their sides, through which they breathe. All buzzing insects, bluebottle's the same. It's not the wings. Less than 1% of the buzz comes from their wings. Bees breathe through 14 holes along the sides of their bodies, and they're called spiracles. And each one has a valve to limit the flow of air, which the bee can do. And they can tune it, rather like a trumpeter, sort of using his lips. What's that called? Embouchure, or whatever it is. Embouchure. And in the same way that one human lung on a trumpet can fill a vast hall with a great sound, more than it can with its own vocal cords. So a bee can make this extraordinary noise just through controlling its breathing.
Isn't science marvellous?
Are humans the only species that make unnecessary noise?
Oh, well, that's an interesting idea.
No, dogs.
I mean, do you think any animals just sit around and hum or just
Whistle.
Or talk inanely, Alan.
That's why there are no panel shows in the animal kingdom.
Has anybody ever heard bees having sex?
Oh,
Yeah, it was one of the worst porn films I ever saw.
There it is, in fact.
They got kicked out of Kew Gardens for that.
The extraordinary thing is that it makes an audible sound. It's a very female-centred society. The women do all the work. No, I know, Carrie, I had no change there.
No change.
And the drones, the boys, their sole job is to mate with the queen, and hardly any of them get a chance to do so. But if you manage to mate with the queen, once you have done so, your phallus ejaculates from your body. The whole thing tears off with an audible pop.
I think most blokes would think that's worth it.
Well, it actually plugs up the vagina. That's the whole point, is it stops the semen coming back out again. So all of the drones want to mate with the queen, but only a very few of them are able to do so.
It's like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So if many want Queen Bee, she chooses one who lets her down, and she steals his phallus and makes an album about it.
She has sex with multiple drones.
Beyonce?
Not Beyonce.
What does she do with all the spare...
The spare? They get ejected eventually. She gets rid of them.
That must be intimidating. You go in to see the Queen and they're all on a shelf.
It's a dartboard. They're not. Don't open the door!
Well, Murray's the bee that's just had sex with her. He walks out like that and there's a big long queue and then his cock just hits him on the back of the head. Oh, sorry.
But how long do you think they have sex for?
I'm thinking if you knew that was going to happen, you'd be making it last as long
As long as it's possible. It's anywhere between 10 and 80 minutes.
OK.
And sometimes while they're flying, which must be, you know...
Is that like the Mile High Club for bees?
Yeah.
Woo! This is better than I imagined. Oh, no!
When you find a bee and it's crawling on its last legs...
I always rescue them.
You give it honey. It's the only thing they eat. Makes sense when you think about it. point just talking to it. Give it honey.
They're very much a one-recipe species, aren't they? I'm intrigued because I generally give it the sole of my shoe, but you know, not to be harsh, but you know, I think
Treading on a struggling, crawling bee, trying to get back to the hive.
What? As opposed to rehabilitate it?
I like honey. I have it on my porridge. You murderer.
Yeah, but
You depend on bees.
We need the bees.
okay. So in future, I should lure the bee back. And sorry, do I get a syringe of honey, just a tiny amount of honey? How do I feed this
Spoon of honey.
disabled
Leave
bee?
it with the honey. Don't tread on it. It should be
But-
criminal
but-
offence.
but-
You should be arrested. You should be locked up. You know where? In a hive.
But isn't it true, though, that a bee in his entire lifetime makes an absolutely tiny amount of honey overall? I mean, just a
But they're just
minute
lots
amount
of
of
them,
honey.
yeah.
So you don't have to give much rehabilitating honey to this one bee before the nation, the world, is making a net loss from that bee. You know, it's useless. If you only get 1 teaspoon of honey from a whole bee's lifetime, and every time we have to get it back on its feet, it takes a teaspoon and a half, suddenly there's no honey at all.
This is more honey than this bee has seen in its life.
Yeah, you're insulting it, apart from anything else. It's like showing a very tired mason a whole cathedral.
Well, let's say that you're in between Alan and Dara. So, like Alan, you want to help the bee give it honey, but like Dara, you also want to kill. What you can do is you get what I would term too much honey, and you see the bee, and you pour molten... Look, hear me out.
All right, OK.
And then you watch him die a slow... As
Yeah, I carry on with... Yes, I've now heard you out.
Yes.
And it's no better.
Well, no, that's
worse.
Yes.
Much worse than what I did.
Torturing
You're
a
being
bee.
humane, are you?
Yeah, I am being
You're not. You're getting a kick out of it.
Let's forget that.
Drowning the bee ironically in honey.
You
want some honey?
You can't
How much
drown
honey
them.
do you want? Is this too much honey?
Oh, not so keen on the honey now, are you? After your lifetime making honey.
Very good. Well, thank you for that interesting, fierce and, I think, productive debate.
To really test who's qualified for the job, we come to the question of general ignorance. Fingers on buzzers, please. What's the best thing for an exhausted bee?
Is there life?
Mish.
Honey?
Addy. What do you reckon, Addy?
Sugar water.
Speed.
So here's the thing, never give it honey. The RSPB say feeding a tired bee honey, it's really a short-term solution. It needs nectar.
Why are the RSPB wading in on this? That's not a bird. Keep their beaks out of it.
They do all sorts of damage because, first of all, honey contains spores of bacteria, and it's perfectly possible the bee may pick those up and take them home and infect the entire hive. It needs nectar, is what it needs.
Who's got nectar? I mean, really?
They're called flowers. The thing is, darling, it either needs a rest, or it needs to be left alone so it will be encouraged to go and pollinate, or it could just be dying. In which case, the kindest thing is to sit with it and give encouragement, I think. Also, if you make the sugar too thick, you could block up the bee's proboscis. You could then stop it being able to get the nectar at all. I mean, there's nothing really good about giving any honey water or any sugary water whatsoever. Have more bee-friendly flowers in your garden is the best thing you can
But
do.
that's not something you can do there and then. I mean,
No, that's tricky. Just suddenly planting a buddleia just for the sake of it. Here's a few bee facts. Bees have furry tongues. They have long hairs to trap the nectar.
But what sort of bees make milk?
What sort of bees make milk?
Boobies.
Series to raise the toe.
Sorry.
Boobies.
One for the kids.
They've got furry tongues. They've also got furry eyes. That's quite weird, right? Yeah, so they have those big compound eyes. They've got hairs between them. They grow at the intersection of the lenses. What I particularly love about bees, they can really take their alcohol. OK, so scientists fed them pure ethanol, and they can drink the human equivalent of 10 litres of wine in a single sitting. Wow. Yeah, I know. Give it up for the bee.
Come on, we've all done that when we've been dumped.
The best best thing you can do for a bee is stock your garden full of flowers. Uncle Fred is bread and Bob's your uncle. Right. How can you tell if a bee is having a midlife crisis?
I don't think this is a crisis. This is a great day.
The important thing that you need to know is that the average bee lives for about 8 weeks and midlife is about 10 days, OK? And what do you think they do in that 10 days right in the middle of their lives?
Fuck.
Actually, no, because bee sex is really, really...
Tell me about bee sex.
No, it's not.
Brutal. The queen bee basically has sex with all the drones. That's bee for male.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much their job. That's all that's...
Yeah, it's basically suicide sex. They have sex in mid-air and they leave their... It's not called a penis, but whatever the bee penis is, they leave that inside her. And she's like, more! And then they die. It breaks off and they die. And then the next one comes. And then he has a go and then his breaks off and dies. And the next one comes in until she's done all the drones and they're all dead.
I do not know why that's not an opera. That's the most...
I sort of knew about that, but I only recently learned that she's flying the whole time.
Yeah.
They have to fly up to her, obviously thinking, it won't happen to me, he's rubbish. My super penis, oh, shit. Ah!
It's a horrible job. Meanwhile, the worker bees are all female, and 25% of middle-aged honeybees become undertakers. That's their midlife job. So the young ones basically attend to the queen and they clean and so on, and the older ones go out foraging, they're looking for food and nectar. But in middle age, a quarter of them take on the job of removing dead bees from the hive. The undertaker bee finds a dead bee and it drags it to the exit, and then it flies it around 100 metres away. It must be quite strong. Imagine flying and carrying your own weight away from the nest and then throws it away. And, of course, it's important. It stops disease from decomposition, creates more space for the thousands of new bees. Mostly they don't do this for very long. But they did some studies, the University of Connecticut and Indiana, and there was a bee that they named Yellow 54. And this bee was really into being an undertaker, right? It removed 114 corpses in 13 days and then was seen hanging around the bottom of the hive in case a body fell out.
That's like my father-in-law, just at the house. Do you need anything doing? No, you've retired. Have a minute. Stop doing jobs at my house that don't need doing.
Yeah, he could fix Alan's toilet.
Oh, you can get the panel off.
Anyway, much more popular job for a bee than a human. Not that many people work in the world of undertaking. How might you...
What do bees do better than dogs? Yes, Jimmy.
Make honey?
That is probably true, I have to say.
Probably true. Yeah. You're giving me probably on making honey. OK, fine. If that's the way you want to play it.
I'll give you that one. But
thank you very much. I'm currently in the lead.
Yeah.
They're better at sneaking up on you than dogs are. Like, you would never know if a bee had sniffed your crotch, would you?
Well, you might not. There'd be a buzzing noise, but oddly enough, you've used a word in there.
Is it crotch?
No.
Sniffing.
Sniffing. Sniffing. We use dogs to sniff in customs and for security.
Sniffer bees.
For explosives and for drugs. And do you know what? It takes a dog about 3 months at least to be trained to be a sniffer dog. It takes a bee 10 minutes. All you have to do is put it in a box, all right, add the smell and some sugar simultaneously, do that a few times, and it will instantly associate that smell with sugar and a reward. And then next time it comes across that smell, its proboscis will come out, and if you set it all up right, it will cause an alarm.
So why aren't we in airports killing bees then?
It's beginning to happen.
Unless drug dealers had an allergy to stings, I can't see them being pinned up against the wall by a policeman. with a bee on a bit of kite, you know, like kite twine.
There's a company called Sentinel which has developed this, and it is beginning to be used by the military and by airports and by various others. You pop a bee in a little box and you train it.
That's not a little box, that's like the worst rucksack ever invented.
What if they like savoury stuff? You know, what if they just haven't got much of a sweet tooth?
The great thing about bees is they only like sugar. But I admit there may be a rogue bee that likes meat or salami, and that would be useless.
Pasties.
Pasties, for
Then
example.
he wouldn't be able to do that as a job.
Cornish bee, yeah. You shove a few in a box, and then you waft them near the thing that you want to check. There it is.
Well, it's not a bad idea, because that was always the old joke about the best way to smuggle drugs would be, obviously, in a dog's bum. Because when the sniffer dogs come through... as soon as the dog goes, you just go, come here, you naughty little thing. Whereas with bees, how much could you get in a bee's bum? Very little.
Very little.
My dad once punched a bee.
Punched a bee?
Yeah, it sort of went for him, and it was huge, so he just punched it. So, you know, we said it was like a velvet tennis ball.
It's a rather beautiful phrase. Velvet tennis balls of the sky.
I like that he was thinking of such poetic things while he was punching a bee.
And bees are valuable, and as we know, they're in trouble. There seems to be this
That
thing
one
called...
was.
Yeah, that one.
Why do bees hum?
People hum. I've noticed this when people are a bit embarrassed.
Oh, right.
Because they don't know what to say, and I wondered if bees did it.
Yeah, so no.
Is it something to do with pollen? Like
Yes.
So it's about finding pollen, or...
It is to do with pollen.
Is it sending out a vibration?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That there are bees...
It looked like people were going to applaud there, but they weren't sure what to applaud.
Some bees, not all bees, literally shake pollen out of flowers by humming very loudly at them. Isn't it astonishing? Basically, they hold on to the flower and they beat their wing muscles phenomenally fast, and those rapid muscle contractions produce forces up to 30 Gs. That is about 3 times what you would get from a fighter jet making a tight turn. I mean, it's absolutely astonishing.
It's also the reason why they banned sex toys from Kew Gardens. Yeah. Because it's true. Yeah.
Is that actually in the rule book? No sex toys?
Certainly why I got thrown out.
Well, it is confiscated.
Exactly. What are you doing? We need that, Polly. Sorry, I can't turn it off.
How big was the sex toy?
That was like a fishing rod. I don't want to know.
Well, you're a very lucky woman, man.
But it is incredible. That thing you can see on their leg there is called a corbicula, and it is the little basket that they keep the pollen in.
Scientists, they did research, and the best bit of the bee is its knees. That's
oh,
true.
right.
Shortly followed by the testicles of a dog. all in science. All in science.
No, I'm glad you brought it up.
There is a bee
Yes.
that, when it goes near, it creates, like, electricity.
So, this is an extraordinary thing. It can also harness electrostatic forces. So, when a bee flies through the air, the friction that it causes their bodies to build up a positive charge. This is incredible. When they get close to the flower, which usually carries a negative charge, the grains of pollen literally jump from the plant to the insect. And they learn to distinguish the different electrical fields around different flowers so they can tell which plants have nearly been depleted of pollen and they don't bother with those.
Do they work for N power?
You said some bees.
Yeah.
Some are electric, some acoustic bees.
Yes.
And then there's a wasp in the background going, Judas!
And they don't hum, they go, I'm going to the library.
But that does sound like... Dylan obviously sounds like a bee, doesn't he?
Yeah. He does. And that's why a lot of his gigs, pollen all over. And he's got terrible hair feedback.